If you've ever said, why won't my team work together? The answer might be that you haven't built the trust, the structure, or the space for it. Collaboration is more than just dividing tasks. It's about bringing together diverse perspectives, skills, and ideas to create something greater than what any one individual could achieve alone. This is the Leadership on the Rocks podcast, where we equip and empower leaders like you to thrive in and create harmony between your professional and personal lives. I'm your host, Bethany Reese, and in today's episode, we're heading straight into the beating center of your leadership survival kit. Welcome to the Heart of Leadership, Part 3 in our special book lunch series, walking through my new book, Leadership on the Rocks, How to Survive, Adapt, and Succeed in the Wilderness of Leadership. Now, we've already talked about the head, mindset, identity, and purpose, but y'all, none of that matters if your heart isn't in it. And by heart, I mean the lifeblood of leadership, relationships, communication, and collaboration. Because listen, you can be brilliant with strategy, but if you're burning bridges on the daily, no one's going to follow you up that mountain. I like to say relationships are vital nutrients in leadership. And let me tell you, I've tried leading on a relational junk food diet because I focused on tasks and email more than people, and it does not end well, okay? Now, here's the key takeaway from chapter 6. People need to feel safe, valued, and connected to thrive. When I first started leading, I thought my job was to get the job done, right? Period. I was task-focused, efficient, sure. But I was also proud of my color-coded calendar. You should have seen it. Still is color-coded, by the way. But here's what I missed. Managers are task-focused and leaders are people-focused. I had the checklist, but I didn't necessarily have the connection. And when there's no connection, trust breaks, drama spikes, emails get weaponized, and suddenly you're Googling how to lead without crying before 10 a.m. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know. In the book, I say this loud and clear. If you don't invest in the psychology behind relationship building, you will always be burned by it. Y'all, strong relationships are honestly just the beginning, but relationships without a healthy culture, that's like baking a cake with expired milk. Looks fine at first, but give it time. You'll see what it does. Now, if you want your team to flourish and not just function, you've got to get serious about the culture you're building. And that's why I break it down into 3 critical actions of building culture. First is define the line. Be clear about what's okay and what's not, and what we celebrate around here. Spoiler, people can't meet expectations that they've never heard of. And now the second one is to coach the line. Don't just drop a PDF of core values into a shared drive and call it culture. Culture has to be taught, modeled, and repeated until it's normal. Thirdly, you have to defend the line. When someone crosses the line, and they will, you have to say something. Otherwise, you're not leading culture, you're just letting dysfunction decorate the break room. You can't assume culture. You have to lead it on purpose. And if you're not defining, coaching, and defending that line, someone else will. And you might not like where they draw it. So take a look at your team right now. Do your people feel safe, valued, connected? Or are they just checking boxes and dodging each other in the break room? Next up, we hydrate our leadership with communication, the life-giving water of any healthy culture. Because clarity and communication can help you avoid a lot of problems. Y'all, that might be the understatement of the century. Let me say it again. Clarity in communication can help you avoid a lot of problems. I once spent a whole week frustrated because someone missed the memo. Turns out I never sent the memo. And by memo, I mean email message. Now, unfortunately, I have stories like that in my marriage and my parenting too, except with no memos are involved there, right? I'm not that hardcore people. But have you ever thought that you told somebody something, turns out you didn't, but you were frustrated that they weren't doing the thing that you expected them to do? Communication isn't just about information. It's about connection, clarity, and conflict resolution. And Communication is like water. You need it to survive, but it can also drown. Water can drown you, communication can drown you. When we serve up communication riddled with selfishness, unspoken expectations, weird tone, like the all caps in the text or maybe even the email, or maybe it's twisted storytelling. I am assuming your intentions on something. That's not leading, that's flooding. I'm drowning the very people that I need with toxic words and confusing messages. That's why in the book, I walk through the 4 C's of communication, a filter to keep your conversations life-giving. First up, you got to check your ego. Is this about you being right, or is it about the team getting better? Check your ego. Next is clarity. Say what you mean, and then say it again. Third is channel. Is this the right place and time? Should it be a text, an email, an in-person conversation? Y'all, it matters. Channel. Choose the right channel. And fourth, converse. Communication isn't just about you broadcasting, it's listening too. And so here's a great leadership mantra to remember. Ready? Prepare yourselves. Write it down. People can't read your minds. You're welcome. People cannot read your minds. And here's the deal. It's unresolved conflict that breeds bitterness and destroys relationship. And a lot of that unresolved conflict is because people don't talk and communicate and connect. And so you need to speak up. You can feel the tension in a team when stuff is left unsaid. It's like walking into a room with a microwave that's been running for 10 years. It just doesn't feel right. It feels kind of icky. Also, you need buy-in to support the why, the how, and the what of the work of the goal you're trying to accomplish. So if your team is confused, it might not be a motivation issue. It might just be a communication one. So let's do a quick gut check. Are you assuming people just know? Or are you intentionally building clarity, feedback loops, and space for real conversations? All right, let's talk collaboration, which I lovingly call the food of fellowship. Because like potlucks, collaboration works best when everybody brings something to the table. And no one tries to dominate the dessert table or, you know what, I'll bring ice. Those people, I'll bring the cups and ice. We want everybody to bring something to the table, something worthwhile. So here's the key idea. Collaboration doesn't just happen. It must be cultivated and coached. If you've ever said, why won't my team work together? The answer might be that you haven't built the trust, the structure, or the space for it. Collaboration is more than just dividing tasks. It's about bringing together diverse perspectives, skills, and ideas to create something greater than what any one individual could achieve alone. So if you're doing everything yourself because no one else does it right, and I say this with love, stop it. That's not leadership. That's martyrdom dressed as control. So if you want better results, eat the humble pie, coach the collaboration, and share the dang table. So here's your reminder for the week, straight from your Leadership Survival Kit on caring for the heart of leadership. Think it. Get your mindset aligned. Connect it. Build and protect your relationships. Do it. Communicate clearly and invite collaboration. Own it. Take responsibility for the culture you're shaping. This is how we navigate the wilderness well, from the inside out. Leadership on the Rocks, How to Survive, Adapt, and Succeed in the Wilderness of Leadership is officially here and available for pre-order. Y'all, this book is more than pages and principles. It's a real survival guide for the leadership wilderness you're walking through every day. You'll find visual metaphors, relatable stories, and tactical tools to help you lead well. So order your copy now at leadershipontherocks.com. And if you share about the book on social media and tag me at Leadership on the Rocks or Bethany Reese on LinkedIn, you'll be entered to win a real leadership survival backpack. Yes, with actual gear, not just metaphors and caffeine pills. We don't take those anyway. Next week, we'll be diving into the hands of leadership, where the real action happens, and you don't want to miss that. So keep nourishing that body of leadership by how you think it, connect it, do it, and own it. Until next time, continue putting in the work of building your life and leadership on the rocks, the essential rocks. God bless. And remember, the most essential rock you can build your life and leadership on is the rock of Jesus Christ. Today's Bible verse comes from Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 and 4. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interest of others.